What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here. The Freljord Cup just finished, and we have our winner. If you don't want to be spoiled, and I don't know why you clicked on this video, Kurum X won the Freljord Cup with a dominating performance. He did not bot for a single game on the final day, not one bot for. So I wanted to dive into some of his games, see what he is doing differently from everyone else, how he's playing so consistently, and really just gain some knowledge from his gameplay because he absolutely beasted it today. He had a solid performance yesterday with like 30 points for the day. He ended up with 44 points with the standard scoring system where a first is 8 points and a eighth is 1 point. That is an insane point total. So let's get right into it. This is one of the games from earlier today. It's like near the middle, like game 3-ish. He ends up making the Viego 2 here. Doesn't buy either Poppy or Tristana because he can make 10 and hold the Viego 2, which was really nice for him. And he's just gonna hold on to Samira pair here as well. So I mean, ideally, we get to some kind of like Ionia opener. Eventually, we can get like a Callista onto our board, and then it all kind of connects together. You can even get like a Zed in if you high roll like Katarinas and stuff like that. You can add them to this board. So I like this start. We really need to just sort of like finish our board here. Items wise, here Shojin and Static Shiv are like the best possible slams from this spot. He's gonna pre-level. Wow, not something you see a ton anymore. I feel like pre-leveling has gone away a little bit, but he can still make 10 in pre-level. He just has to sell some pairs. All right. First augment here is the option of Cybernetic Bulk, Healing Orbs, and Latent Forge. Latent Forge is very strong in general. Cybernetic Bulk is like meh. Healing Orb is actually quite strong once we have this like two-star frontliner like Viego. He benefits a lot from this. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him just take Healing Orbs here. I'd probably reroll Bulk here and then lean towards taking Healing Orbs. I wouldn't be surprised if he just takes Latent as well. I think it's a very solid object, or Augment is what they're called. Gets the option for Iron Assets as well. Doesn't end up taking it, but it's pretty interesting. We saw a Dish Soap actually earlier, end up taking Iron Assets over Latent Forge. I do think Latent Forge is a stronger augment, but Bishop ended up taking it, so it's pretty interesting. Gets a shop that gifts him Ionia, and he can play Rogue for this Viego, so I absolutely love this start. And he slams the Static Shiv. The only other option was Shojin, but I mean, the most straightforward angle to play from here with the Static Shiv is just play for a Ionia game. So, ideally for him, he can play for that, and we'll have just, a very easy game of TFT to play. Um, yeah, it's curious here. Do you want to get Samira in, or do you want to wait? You could like double level here if you really wanted to. I'd probably wait until next turn if I. Ooh, he is going to actually double level this turn. Okay, yeah. Really aggro play, and he ends up fighting Cristofo's insanely weak board. Yeah, he just makes the tempo play. I would like to scout more before making this play because it's scary. Like if you double level in the spot, and you don't need to double level it, it feels kind of bad. Callista feels amazing though. Speaking of stuff that feels in this spot, he's just gonna put the Callista in, and he's actually going to immediately sell the Viego. He values playing this Callista on this board with Static Shiv more than the Viego. I think that makes sense. It's sort of like you could cut the Samira and get Viego in instead, and you'd have Shadow Isles in, like you'd have another synergy in. But the thing is that this Callista is such a grossly strong holder of the Static Shiv that this makes a ton of sense. So he gets the Static Shiv here. He's got a sword open. Could be GS, could be Gunblade. I would like to, since we're on a 3 streak, just slam an item here. I'd be happy to take like a Gunblade here and just make that. Looks like he takes the rod, so I imagine that's what he's going to go for. If it swings a fight, if not, you could greet it. But yeah, the biggest thing we need at this point. Oh, and yeah, he doesn't even wait to see his fight. He just immediately slams it. But yeah, the biggest thing we need here. Oh, and is it really? Yeah, there's no way it's Ash here, right? Yeah, I would be surprised. He plays Karma here over Jen, which I like. Yeah, I was looking at that Karma. There's got to be a way we can fit Karma. Karma's actually amazing on this board because we have the Static Shiv, and like there's no reason we necessarily have to play Jen. We were fighting a pretty strong board out of Solus, but the Callista is just too strong. 1,500 damage out of her. And so this is going to be a strong win streak opener from, oh my god, that's a Karma 2. Okay. It's not even a high roll. No, it's not, you know, Callista 2 would be stronger, but Karma 2, obviously very good, and that will help him maintain his win streak. So this is something we saw Kerm do basically all tournament long, is just win streak early, stage 2. I mean, obviously the Karma is going to help a lot with that, but even prior to this, he 4-streaked with only one 2-star unit. He had the 2-star Viego, but decided to cut it. Just having a really good understanding of what his strongest board is, how to maximize the effectiveness of his items is really important, especially in a tournament like this, because if you can win streak like this, you can make it very easy for yourself to top 4, especially in, tourney lobbies like this where the tempo is high. Like Prestivan down to 60 HP, Cristofo down to 61 HP. A lot of people, if they're going to loss streak, everyone's going to be playing their strongest board, and they're going to take a ton of damage. Items here a little sus. He's looking at the Chalice of Power. I mean, if it's a super AP heavy lobby, you can make Declaw. It's not great. Like ideally in this comp, you make other stuff out of this cloak. Ionic Spark tends to be solid, but we already have Static Surge, so we don't really need that. He's gonna go 6 here and start actually rolling to try to hit some kind of front line, probably. Yeah, ends up getting even the Sejuani in, and does make the Declaw. Okay, and it's actually really good in this matchup, right? He's fighting the Vel'Koz player, so Declaw could actually end up swinging this fight. It's pretty close. The Gumbly Callista doing work. Oh my god. Oh, wait. The Karma's a beast. She actually wins the fight. I really thought he was going to lose this, but Karma just one-shots the entire enemy team. Wow, and keeps his streak. So really, really, really smart play to roll there. I just roll both of these, grab this Augment here. It's solid, gives you some gold. Best slam in this spot, he goes for Archangels. Wow, it probably is the best slam. You don't really want Hodge, you already have healing. Um, so yeah, Archangel is probably the best slam, and then late game we can put these items onto like a Kaisa, and she'll actually do work. And then he does get um the Irelia in over the Sejuani. It's interesting because like he doesn't continue to roll here. It's actually really like once you go 6, it makes a lot of sense to roll. But like the round after you go 6, starts becoming awkward. He could have rolled a bit more here. Huh. Because he has a Aurelia pair. The big thing is if he finds one Warwick, it spikes his board immensely. Yeah, I think this might be a mistake because like if he rolls here and finds one Warwick, he definitely wins that fight. Gives him 4 Challenger and Juggernaut. Even like this Soraka actually ends up probably being stronger. He's even gonna get the Maokai in here. It's probably Soraka though. Though Shadow Isles is obviously really good when we're playing around this Callista. But yeah, we're actually starting to run into some really strong boards. I think his call is that, like after he rolls on 3-1, he doesn't want to keep rolling on 3-2, trying to continue to win streak, especially like now after he lost his streak, he doesn't have to roll at all. He's just going to, look to make his board stronger at this point and like spike on level 7. There was a Yasuo with Giant Spelt on Carousel, which seems really good, but he was not able to get that. Ends up getting just a glove, which could be like a JG, could be some kind of Yasuo item like IE. Is going to get his Ornn item here, so let's check what that is. He's actually going to go 7 and start rolling here before he checks his Ornn item. Also gets the Kaisa in. Oh my god, that's Yasuo and a Kaisa shop. That's really good. Now he's one off of both. Continues to roll here, which I think makes a good bit of sense. Death Stance seems amazing here, or Death Defiance, I think it's called. Just slam that on Yasuo, and then we'll figure out what this glove is. Ideally, it's an IE, I would imagine. But we'll see. Even something like QSS isn't too bad. But yeah, now the board is very solid. And I mean, this has just been a clean game of TFT from Kurum. He hasn't ever like really overrolled in a spot. He had a solid opener for this comp. He's just going to keep rolling, not below 20, probably. Oh, but now he's Yasuo and Kaisa pair. It starts to become really, really tempting to roll here. And he makes the pivot into the 6 Challenger version of the board because he has Samira too. He's hit all of these Challenger units. Makes a ton of sense. This is going to be his strongest version of the board compared to like the Ionia version. So yeah, I like this a lot. But yeah, still really, really good discipline out of Karam, right? He's one off Kaisa, he's one off Yasuo, he's one off Set 2. Is he one off Irelia 2 as well? He is. So he has so much to roll for, but he knows in one fight we're gonna hit these scuttle crabs. It doesn't it's the world's not gonna end if I win or lose this next fight. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna stay above 20 gold. I'm not rolling it to 0. I'm gonna stay above 20, and then we're gonna roll our gold at 4-1 again and try to actually hit our board. We hit like potentially JG, could also be like guard breaker stuff. And now we're just gonna roll once again. Here it's actually pretty reasonable to roll kind of deep. We find a Shen, find a Warwick 2, finally find the Yasuo 2. It takes a while. And now he's going to Magnetic Remover. Yeah, I like this a lot, so we can make the JG into Warmogs. Yeah, I like this. The only problem with this play, I would think, is that now you don't have the remover to take the item off set later. But I like this a lot. The JG was a really strong slam, and it's really good on Kaisa in this position, right? You're going to stack up so much HP with Archangels. Yeah, I think this was the way out. I like this a lot. And Static Ship is also really, really good on Callista because she just autos, right? Eternal Contract, not great. Cybernetic Leech, not too amazing either. We already have healing on both of our carries. We could just take Masterful Job, but I would roll these. I think he's looking at a Infernal Contract, like, can I hit 3 stars? But I don't think so. I would not recommend it. Overwhelming Force is actually really interesting in this spot. Deathblade and Infinity Edge. We have no Yasuo items. This is actually an amazing spot for it. If you look at the stats, and this is why stats kind of lie a little bit, I believe the stats for this augment are not that amazing. So if we go and look at Overwhelming Force, maybe I'm wrong, and it's no, like 4.8. The stats on this augment actually look horrible if you read them, but I think this is actually an amazing spot for it. I mean, I would reroll the other augments to see if we see something insane, but I mean, Golden Egg Hedge Fund, ain't no way. We are just gonna take this immediately. Oh, sorry, my phone is vibrating. You guys probably heard that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, now his board looks amazing. He's 75 HP and he's just coasting to a top four, and we'll see how high of a placement he can play for. But yeah, that's really interesting and just shows why augment stats, aren't always right. Also, this video is coming out on a Monday. To throw a little spice into it, a little controversy. Augment stats are being taken away on Wednesday. We're going to lose augment stats on these stats websites. I've talked about this. I have a video about it. If you guys haven't seen it, just look up. It's like Riot is removing augment stats, Sub-Zero Arc, and you can probably find it. Um, this is actually a really good example of why, part of the reason why I think augment stats, like Riot doesn't love augment stats because there are a lot of players, like a lot of like new players to the game who would just look up statistically like what the best augment here is and say, oh, overwhelming force, it has really bad stats. I don't want to take that. But it's actually like really, really good in this position. I also don't know if any of you guys noticed Prestivant's spot there, but Prestivant had the most illegal setup this game. Like I have never seen a more illegal augment setup. It was blood money when you take damage, get 3 gold for every, or get 1 gold for every 3 left lost. Then Tiny Titan, so he gets another 30 HP, which is worth 10 gold and it's 30 HP. And then he got level up third and he's playing Kale. That's got to be the most illegal Kale setup I have ever seen in my life. Like just gets to, he just gets to, hit Kale 3 and try to push 9 for absolute free. Like I do not know what to say about that. And speaking of like, you know, the great spot to the terrible spot, Christofo here had to take Shurima +1 as his final augment here. So Augment's not great in this spot. It's fine if you play more vertical Shurima, but all this allows him to do is play 3 Shurima, gives him a Bloodthirster for his Lysander. Like, who really cares? He's already got the Ashan 3. I think Christopher would have much preferred some other augments, but I don't know what their spot is if they were able to take other stuff. So, yeah, but a little unfortunate. But I mean, at this point, like, as I said, Kerm is just coasting to a top four with this really, really solid, just good play. He played a solid early game, win streaked a bit, lost his streak at some points, but didn't overroll. Used his gold when it was most efficient, and now he's in a spot where he can push levels. He can get like this Shen in randomly onto his board. Maybe he will end up playing the Ionia version of this comp, like pivoting back into that with like a Shen 2. Maybe he'll just play this version of the comp and like add like people add Gwen very frequently to this comp. Also, my God, look at all the loot flying from the Scuttle Puddle. He did actually manage to get the set, by the way. This is Bandle City Rise. It's not my favorite. It's the one where he makes a little portal. Did actually skip a Gwen, but ends up hitting a Senna here, which is really, really nice. He's going to make GS plus Shroud. I like this a lot, yeah. Shroud late game really good. We already have 3 Yasuo, 3 Kaisa items, so we don't really need like a final item on anyone. And look, like I'm pretty sure this fight was a Shroud diff. Like my God, it does so much work here. Yeah. Now his spot looks really, really good. He went level 8 fast. Yeah, I mean, fast-ish. Okay, honestly, pretty slow level 8s. But now he has the Senna in. Feels really good on this board with, I mean, you shield the entire board, give him extra attack speed. Feels amazing. Yasuo also doesn't have like a BT or anything in this spot, but I mean, still, he's just going to be very happy that he gets a little bit tankier with the Senna. Also, it's Shadow Isles um, for Callista, which is not the worst. I would, wow, he actually sells the Shen over the Gwen there. So thinking of maybe, I don't know actually. Maybe the idea is that if he hits like a Gwen too, he'll play it over um this Senna. I'm not sure actually. It's interesting to think about. I guess we'll see what his board ends up being. I do believe he can just go like a fast 9 in this spot. He's got like nothing to roll for. Gwen 2 or like Senna 2 would be the only things really. So yeah, he's just allowed to go fast 9 in this spot. This is a board that is actually really cheap. And he fights, I think that was Philip's board. Yeah, Philip managed to hit a disgusting setup on Belveth, Ionia Spat, plus Slayer Spat. Belveth is just a really, really good holder of a lot of spats. Challenger Spat, Ionia Spat, Slayer Spat. Like, so many spats go good on Belveth. Oh my God, wait. All of a sudden, we have 5 Yasuos. He also got Ionia Spat off Carousel, so now he can play for 6 Ionia, 6 Challenger. Um, Either on level up or he would have to cut like actually no, he can't play it right now. Yeah. Right? On 8? Yeah, no, you can't play both on 8 in this setup. You'd cut Senna, and then he would still only have 5 Ionia in. But on level 9, he can play 6/6, which is very, very tempting. You would have to lose the Shadow Isles, but it's quite strong, and he is holding on to he's holding on to the Karma. It looks like he's not too interested in going 9 in this spot. He's really just looking to cap out his board with the 6 Ionia 4 Challenger version, and then using the Ionia spat as just sort of a +1 and a really, really strong item on Callista. I like this. Pretty, like I said, he is just playing solid TFT, and he did, like I was talking about earlier, end up pivoting back into this version of the cup. But yeah, I mean, look at Prestiven's board. He is level 9, 40 gold, just going level 10, and he just stomps us. Like, Prestiven is going to probably an uncontested first in this lobby. But what's really nice about the solid play of Kurm is that he's all but secured a top 4 in this spot. He could take a horrible loss here and go bot 4, but it's not that likely. And it's because of his HP lead, right? He had so much HP playing this game early that he is allowed to just play like this. Hits a Callista 3 here, just rolls it down for it. Can't find... Oh, he does find Shen to at the last second. He can make a TG Shen. I don't hate it. He's actually rates Protector's Vow higher than TG. Wow, okay. So just make Protector's Vow for the early cast. And we're fighting Stellar Minhee here. It was not even really a close fight, and boom, that's top 4 already. But yeah, like, this is why I think, like, if you watch this game, I think the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, from this game, um, is just the consistency with which Perm played with. He just played a strong board early. He just played really, really good, really solid TFT. Picked all the correct augments in his positions. I love, love, love. Also, wow, what a shroud! He actually just shrouded down the middle and hit this like a beast. Still ends up losing the fight, but because it's such a close loss, he ends up going third over potentially going fourth if he had taken like a really bad loss and like missed the shroud. Really, really clean game from Kurum. You can't win every game. Sometimes Prestiven hits an insane augment setup, but really just shows how consistent play is rewarded in TFT, how you can play consistently to go third or even like, I don't know, if you play like this, you'll go first in you guys' lobbies probably. And also the augment thing I think was so cool, taking a suboptimal win rate augment because it was really good in his spot. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Check my Twitch and all my links down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.